Yes.
If you speak Chinese, you get a better cabin than if you just speak English or Swahili, right? That's just joking. Just a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to go all the way to Kampala, I think, or to they want to go, or not Kampala,
I thought they wanted to go all the way to Kigali. Isn't that right?
Kigali,
Yeah,
or at least.
Yeah, but I think that's on hold now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the finance issue. The Chinese are a bit tightening their belts a bit. Probably as a result of their disagreements with Mr. Trump.
Everybody has disagreements with Mr. Trump,
including Mr. Trump.
All right. Well, we're almost to critical mass here. We have four students. Joy is joining us from Manila or somewhere in the Philippines, I expect. Hello, Joy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'll hit on one of those.
What time is it there, Joy? Can you hear us, Joy?
I think she's messing with her sound. She's trying to get it connected.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, we can hear you, Joy.
What time is it in Manila?
I'm actually in the United States right now, so
Oh, wow.
it's 7 a.m. Like you guys.
Where are you, Joy?
Connecticut?
Connecticut. Oh, you're just down the street.
Yes. Yep. Not too far.
We drove by it the other day. We drove to Delaware and drove right through Connecticut. I spent an hour going 14 miles in Connecticut a few days ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was horrible. On 15 South.
What was it, a MAGA rally?
No, it was they were cutting trees, and it caused such a 2-lane highway. All this traffic goes to New York City, and they cut it down to 1 lane, and it was just terrible. It was very hot, about 38 degrees, and cars were not moving at all, and such is life.
You can get stuck on that road if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Hello, Emerson. How are you?
Emerson, do you hear us?
You look really unhappy, Emerson. What's the story?
No, he's just looking at his email.
That's better. Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
No, the internet is not good here, but we can hear you.
Oh, good. Well, we can see you. So we're going to give a couple more minutes, see if we can get a couple more souls to join us. I did hear from William. He's supposed to be joining us. I think I heard from Halia. I think she's supposed to be joining us. I'm pretty sure I heard from Stefano. Oh, no, Stefano. He's here.
Yeah.
Not only did I hear from him, he's here in the flesh.
Yeah, now we are in Farmers Wiki in Tanzania. Yeah.
Is that like a celebration?
Yeah, celebration.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we have here a lot of VSLOA. VSLOA, yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
I think you need a VSLA week.
Yeah.
We'll have you come and testify before the legislature and tell Parliament why it's necessary to have VSLA week.
Yeah, Church and VSLA. Yes, let's have a synod.
Joy, if you have a camera and you're willing to put it on at 7 o'clock in the morning, go ahead. But if not, don't worry about it. I put in the chat box a little agenda. Going to hold out for one more person. Here comes William.
Hi, William.
Hello, William.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Hi.
Yes, I'm okay.
Wherever it is, wherever you are with him, it is dark.
I think you're in the witness protection program.
How are you guys?
Good.
Yes.
Hi, William, good to see you.
All right.
How are you, Andrew? How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm okay. Thank you very much for seeing you as well. Yes.
All right. I think I'm going to get us underway because we now have 6 students out of the 11 in the course. Some weren't going to make it anyways, and others are here, but they haven't connected yet. They'll be here shortly because I got emails said they were trying to connect. So welcome. This is our final time together after several grueling weeks. We have all done a lot of work to get to this day. Everybody has got pretty well caught up. We only have 2 students who are still in need of catching up to the point where they can get the passing grade, but people have done really well. Understand that between your complicated life as practitioners, a lot of work commitments, the fact you're out in the field a lot, traveling because you're running VSLA programs, and the fact that the internet does not always cooperate, we understand that it's a real challenge sometimes to get the work done. So we appreciate your taking the time, doing the work, and being able to show up for these webinars. There's Jeanette. Bonjour, Jeanette.
Bonjour, Jeanette. Comment ça va?
Jeanette is getting connected, but glad she's here. So, hello, Jeanette. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
Hi, Jeanette.
Ça va bien, merci.
Okay, excellent. We're so glad you're here. What I want to do is...
But my camera doesn't work. I don't have a camera.
Okay, we'll just imagine you.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing us your voice anyways. So what I want to do is just spend a few minutes giving Hugh and Andrew a chance to give us any kind of final thoughts. In particular, Hugh is going to talk about if you want to continue on using the SAVIX and how you would be able to have your organization become one of the SAVIX members that are part of the group that subscribe. And then Andrew will give us some words of wisdom. And then we'd like to hear from you and any kind of comments you'd like to offer. Before we get to Andrew and Hugh, I also want to thank everybody who has finished your evaluation forms. It's just about everybody here. I will be back a little bit later in the presentation to, or the webinar to remind people who need an extra nudge. And then after we've heard from you, we'll award the certificates. And the thing that I want to let you know about is that, so I can scan and send you a electronic version of your certificate. But if you would like the actual physical certificate, and they're quite handsome, I'll show you Joy's, a little sneak preview. Then we can mail those to you, but we needed an address in the United States, Canada, or the UK or Europe. Or if you have an address in Africa you think that is a pretty solid address in terms of receiving overseas mail, then we can do that too. So I'll leave it up to you. I'll send you all an email. We're happy to send these out to you in the next couple of weeks, but you'll have to give us the complete address so we can send it out. All right. That's the most important stuff I wanted to cover for right now. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Allen, who our lead instructor for the course.
Okay. There isn't really a whole lot to say except that at the end of the last session, I talked to you about the financial situation with respect to the SAVIX. And as you know, it's not a free system. And what I'd like to do is I'm not sure how, I'm going to have to go through the routine again, but there is a fee structure, and this depends upon the number of groups you have. The more groups you have, the lower the cost per unit for a group. What I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and remember how we share screens on this thing. Let's see. All right, share screen. It'd be really nice if I could actually see it. Okay, just a minute. Hold on. Okay, here we are. Now, this is just as a reminder. If you've got less than 50 groups in your MIS, it's free, okay? The idea of this is that it gives people a chance to test out the system, find out whether they like it or think it can be useful or not. If you've got between 50 and 100 groups, you would have to pay $30 a month, $1 a day basically. Between 101 and 250, that's $55 a month, etc. Except that these fees are normally paid annually. Okay, so if you start using the system and you get to 50, a message will appear saying, "Oh, you know, you have to pay," and it will give you contact information so that you can get in touch with the software group. They will then have a dialogue with you and tell you, well, they will first of all ask you which projects you want to include, and then they will tell you what the cost will be, and then you will make payment arrangements with them. Okay. Right now, we've succeeded in making the SAVIX more than break even. We're making a small profit. So the system is financially sustainable from its current use, system users. But this is what you'll have to do for the future. Some of you are probably already paying, but this is the price. So if there are any questions about the payment system, here's your chance to ask them. So you're all happy to pay. Well, that's good news. Thank you.
Helen, hello. I wanted to find out.
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens if maybe is it possible to pay for 6 months? Like if someone wants to subscribe today and they want to fit into their financial year in terms of their funding. So maybe
it's pretty flexible. I mean, what we want to avoid is that people are being invoiced, you know, every couple of months, and it becomes administratively complicated for you and for us.
Okay.
But if you want to pay for a shorter period in order to synchronize with your financial year, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. I say so because I was just helping out a certain NGO would want to create a niche, so they would want to make a subscription, and I was advising them that they can pay maybe for 6 months just to fit into their budget. Yeah,
you'd have to make that request of software group, but I don't think that would be a problem. I mean, we don't want to put barriers in the way of people using the system, but obviously we want to minimize the administrative cost. But if you want to, if it's like 6 months before the end of your financial year, and so that's the period you want to pay for, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, no, thank you.
Okay.
I see that Halia has joined us. Welcome, Halia, from Mozambique.
Bom dia, Halia.
If you have your microphone and camera, Halia, please join us, if possible. All right, and every aspect of the SAVIX operates through a mobile device as well. Is desktop or laptop, right?
Yeah, now that's, we haven't covered that in detail, but as it happens, I happen to have that on screen right now. I'm just going to try and show that to you. Just a minute. I thought I had it live for a minute. Obviously, it isn't. Let me just dig it out. Where are we? Here we are. Let's see. I'll put it up in a second. Just give me a second.
Is it use of Android data application?
Yeah. It's called. Hold on a second.
I saw it in that list.
I'm just looking at my list. Use of that's
Down further. There. Oh, there is. No, it's up top. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that's not it.
3 more up. Keep going.
SAVIX is structured. No, that's not it. MIS. No, that's not it. Okay, it's not up.
There it is.
It
14.
says use of data Android application, but that folder isn't live right now. Okay, so hold on a second. I have it here somewhere. I know for
Hello,
sure.
you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
I have one question.
Yes.
I would like to know. What will happen with the MAS administration that we create during this course. The account that we create. What will happen? I don't know if you understand me.
No, I don't. So you want to create a. What do you want to do? What's the problem? I don't quite understand.
The question is, what's going to happen to the MIS that was created during the course? Is it going to stay? Can they continue to use it?
Yeah.
Or
Normally what we do after the course, in about 3 or 4 months, we clear it out because it is just a test. It's just a experimental MIS, but we keep it live for at least another 3 months so that you have the opportunity to play around with it. Okay. Okay.
We'll tell you what. Why don't we? While you're looking for that, Hugh, why don't we move on to see if Andrew has anything that he would like to add, and any words of wisdom he wants to impart on our students. So, Andrew has been an integral part of this course and worked very closely with many of you. Is working with some of you now, and do you have it, Hugh?
I have it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Andrew.
Okay.
We'll come right back to you.
Now, this is the mobile application is available on Play Store. Okay, and what we have here is we have a 40-page PowerPoint.
Hugh, we see a lovely graphic, which is probably one of your daughter's artworks, but we do not see.
Right. Let me see if I
can. A very stylish lamp. But
yeah, that's a lamp I fixed up for her. But you're right, it is one of her artworks. Just a minute, let me come to this. Sorry, I'm being all over the place right now. Let me just see, where are we? Okay, meeting controls. Right, share screens. Stop share, and here we go again. Let me share screens. I'll try and find the one I'm looking for. Right, now can you see it?
Yep, and now we just have to.
Okay.
Now,
let me explain a little bit about the mobile application. It's intended that it can be used in a number of different ways. It can be used. It should only be used by field officers and not by village agents. Okay, because we can't imagine that we would be supplying community-based trainers with smartphones. So this is designed for use by the field officer, and it enables you to collect information from the field, put directly into a phone, and then synchronized with the MIS. Now, the big advantage of using the mobile application is that you can enter data offline. What you do basically is you're a field officer, you have a phone, and you download your portfolio into the phone. Okay. Once you've downloaded the portfolio into the phone, you can go offline you can go up country as far away as you like from any network. You can enter data into your phone, and then when you come back to a place where there is an Ethernet, a local area network, then you can synchronize what you put in your phone with your MIS. And the steps for doing that are specified in this guide. I'm not going to go through it in any great detail. I just want to just show you a few things. Just a minute. Okay, forget that. So it's very pictorial. It explains tap on the cogwheel settings. A language drop-down appears. The user taps on language. The language selection screen then appears, and you have a choice of 5 languages, and so on. So the user makes their selection and then taps confirm. Okay, and then the home screen displays, and so on and so forth. So you then are allowed to select your MIS from this list. You search, you write the name in, you get the list, you select the project you're interested in, okay, and you download the portfolio of a single field officer into the system. So you then select the particular field officer, okay, all right, you choose the name, that's the one, all right, you search for it, you download the portfolio of that person, all right, and it comes into your phone, and then what you see is the opening screen, which gives you a list of groups. You can add groups, you can synchronize, and so on and so forth. So here you change your field officer, all right. Okay, and when you change your field officer, it will then synchronize with the new field officers groups, and so on and so forth. And then you download as many field officers into your phone as you like, if you're a supervisor, for example. Okay, and then I'm not going to spend much more time on this because, okay, here we go. This is a good one.
So we can make this PowerPoint available up on the, it'll be in module 6 as
Right.
one of the last documents. We'll upload that after the webinar.
After the session, yes. I'm not going to go into it in great detail, but there's a couple of things I wanted to show to you. So here you see you have your group, your list of groups, okay? You select a particular group, and then it will allow you to start editing data on that particular group, and so on and so on and so on. Now, one thing I really did want to show you about this is, go right down here at the bottom, I wanted to show you what the system will give you by way of a report, okay? And here we go. Right now. So, let me just complete this. You synchronize, okay, we've synchronized. Okay, you completed, right now, here we go. Now, when you have entered data into a particular group, you can then get a report, okay? So you say you want to view the performance report, okay? And then here is the report for a particular group. You're in the field with that group, you've entered data. Here are some of the outputs here, okay? You've got, for example, the number of members, percent of female members, attendance rate, average annualized savings per member, percent of members with loans outstanding, and so on. And then you come to the really nice one. Okay, you've got all those. Those are the outputs. And then you come to the really nice one, which is this. Okay, now this is a profit calculation table. And this shows you how you come to a profit for that particular group. So the advantage here is you're in the field with a group, you've entered the data, and then it will give you a report, and it shows in this case, okay, it shows in this case that the profit is 1,145,000 on the basis of 2,256,000 savings, which is a 50.8% return on savings, which is possible. Okay, so the profit figure is shown here, and this gives you a chance if you're in the field with a group. If you think the profit is crazy, if there's a loss or if the profit is excessive, this gives you a chance to review the data that you've entered into the system. So basically what it boils down to is you are a field officer, you're with the group, you're entering data, you get a report. Now, you can save this on your phone, and once you have done that, you can go on to another group and collect more data and save it on your phone. You don't synchronize it while you're in the field. You wait till you get back into the office where you've got a good, strong internet, and then you synchronize it. Okay, and then that updates everything. But the advantage of this is that you don't have to be on the internet to enter data. Okay, and in projects which have got unreliable internet, okay, only occasionally is it reliable, you don't have to worry about that. You can use the phone to enter data, you can synchronize, and then periodically, when you do have internet, you can go in and you can review your reports. So you're not obliged to be sitting at a computer which is online and entering data in order to be able to collect data from the field. Okay, now I think that's just about it. Okay, so there's no need for me to carry on. It's a 44-page or 44-slide PowerPoint. It shows you in detail how. I mean, here's how I made it work. Here's my home screen on my mobile phone. I go to the application. I then go to Play Store. I go to apps. Okay, I go to Play Store, and then I look for SAVIX data application. Okay, and then I can download the application. There it is. I install it, and I open it. And when I've done that, what do I get? There it is on my home page. So it's very, very useful system, but we don't recommend, as I say, that it is used by village agents, but it should be used by field officers. Now, here's another situation. Supposing, for example, you're a field officer and you have a number of village agents and you want them to be the ones who collect the data. We don't normally recommend it, but if you've got well-trained village agents with a good level of education, they can bring the data to the field officer, and the field officer can enter this data on the system, okay, using the mobile application as a data entry tool. For example, in Afghanistan, they use the mobile application in the office as their principal tool for entering data because of the unreliability of the internet. The only disadvantage of that is that if you enter data in any place which is not where the group is meeting, then the GPS data will, you can't use the GPS data because obviously it would not be accurate. But the big advantage, as I say, is offline data. Okay. Now, Bill, you said that we would make this available after this session. Okay.
Yeah, if you would put that in put it in Dropbox, Hugh, because it's probably a big file, and then I'll upload it at the same time as I upload the recording for today's session.
Sure. It's very useful too.
And that's that's a good prompt to remind you that all of the recordings, all of the YouTube recordings are available. I know if you were here for every webinar, then you've seen them and they're probably redundant, but because Hugh and Andrew went through detailed information about some aspects of how to run the SAVIX, it might be useful for you to have those recordings. So you could go ahead and copy those links directly when you're up on YouTube. Go ahead and a link and then save it somewhere. It's on your YouTube channel, so you'll have them. This platform is going to disappear for you at the end of the month. You actually would have until the end of August to download any of the presentations or the full manual, as we said, we put up there in Module 6. It's very important for you to have. So make sure you do that in the next, basically the next 28 days before the platform goes away. All right. Well, thank you, Hugh. I want to turn it over to Andrew and see if Andrew has any words of wisdom that you'd like to pass on to the class.
Well, the first thing I want to say is congratulations that we have reached this far. The students, thank you so much for the hard work you've put in. And I know some are still, making conclusions. And even after the end of the course, as we've always said, we'll be available. So we found Skype very, very useful because you can share screens. So feel free to get in touch if you have any problem, and we will see what we can do to help you. But it's been great having you guys, and it's been great working together. And all the best in your careers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
I wanted to ask something to Hugh. Hugh, were you going to say something about the MI's recent challenge? Although it's not affecting everybody.
Yes, everybody should be aware of this. In the last week, we've run into some issues on the server. We found that because the amount of data is really accumulating very rapidly, we have terabytes of data, that we're having to reconfigure the server to handle it. Because what we've noticed happening is that in some cases, when you're trying to save data, it doesn't save. And that's no good. And occasionally you're getting some messages saying you haven't paid for the system when you have. So software group over the next few days, probably until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, is going to be doing a fairly major service on the system. So there could be some unreliability between now and then. But we will resolve that fairly quickly.
All right. Well, thank you, Hugh. Let's see. We have one new message in our chat here. It's difficult to hear you, maybe because you just have a microphone on. Yeah, if you have a microphone on, it looks like Jeanette may have a microphone on, and Stefano might have a microphone on. Might get some background noise, but do unmute yourself when you have something to say. What I'd like to do at this point is, first of all, just to acknowledge we have 8 of the 11 students attending today, and that's really excellent. Did I count right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's terrific. And representing kind of the breadth and scope of everywhere from Africa and Mozambique, which we have a contingent of 3 from Mozambique, to Zambia, and DRC, Tanzania, and Connecticut, normally Manila, so for Joy, who's back at home visiting. So I really appreciate everybody showing up for this. And now, before we do our certificate ceremony, I would like to see if any of students have either a question or anything else they'd like to say in the final moments of our final webinar. And so just go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and say what you want to say if you want to say anything.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hi, Elia.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I have a few words.
Is this Jeanette?
No, it's Elia.
Elia, okay, I'm seeing.
I have a light background, so.
I know, you also look like you're in the witness protection program, but.
Okay, so first of all, I think I owe apologies to you, Andrew, and William, because I acknowledge that I couldn't follow as it should be. So, but anyway, I've done all my efforts within my limitations. So I want to say thank you very much for the opportunity and to reach the end, whatever way it is. I also would like to make myself available in the future for the Portuguese version of manuals. I want to contribute with this.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for everything.
We have the manuals in English and French. Portuguese, I think, is important because the system is being used fairly widely in Mozambique and also in Angola. But it's a huge job to do a manual in a different language, and so it's always a question of resources. But we do plan to get around to it.
Well, I am offering to do free translation.
Are you, sir? Oh.
It's huge. Oh. Within the time. I'm not, yes.
Oh, okay, Helia. Right, you'll be hearing from me. Okay. Now, which manual do you want translated, Helia?
Well, I think I don't know if you will use the how can I say the training manuals, because I foresee that we will need some training in the future.
Okay.
And whatever manual you think, let's discuss and see what. I don't promise to deliver like tomorrow and then, but I will commit some.
Don't worry, I won't deliver it by tomorrow either. It's a big job.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you see, what you have to do with this is you have to. When you look at the manual, you'll see there's a lot of images of pages as you go through, right? Yes. Which means you have to set up a system in Portuguese and then go through it, take screenshots, and then stick them into the manual. So what I normally do is I go through and I do that. I embed them in the manual in Portuguese, in the right language, and then I would send it to you, and you would then have to write the text around it.
All right, that's fine.
That's a great offer.
I'll take you up on that, Helia.
Okay. Well, thank you, Helia. We appreciate your efforts. We know that you've been challenged with a lot of different things, but you came recommended highly by Nancy Lee, our colleague in Canada, who has worked with you down in Mozambique, and she said that you would be. We actually are going to have you join our original course that was going to be focusing on a different topic that Nancy was going to lead, but that course didn't get the number of students we needed. But we're glad you were able to join the MIS course and finish up. So congratulations. So, we see right now, I've actually on my screen, I've got it set for speaker view, and for some reason or other, I have Stefano as the person I can see. So if Stefano wants to go ahead, if you have anything you want to say to us before we end the broadcast, it'd be great to hear from you on Farmers Week.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for your big support, especially Mr. William and Andrew, the one who support me very much during my coursework, because a lot of time I've refused to be to join you during session. So thank you very much. And what I want to say to you is that soon I'm going to apply this course, because I'm the one who can very competent in MIS. And the good thing is that we have Haifa in Southern Highland. There is a project called the East Africa Youth Inclusion Program. It is directly now use this system. And to me, I'm going to apply in my field, especially I understand in report writing, in operation report, it shows very good graphs, especially trends. Thank you.
Excellent. And I recognize behind you to your right is a poster showing the MasterCard Foundation and Heifer in a project that you're doing. And I, at this point, want to recognize the incredible contribution of the MasterCard Foundation to the scholarship program, not only for SMDP, because it's really the main reason we've been able to be around for the last 10 years, but for all the other programs that it supported, the SAM, the Boulder Microfinance Training, Springfield, the program in Germany through drawing a blank as to the name of that program, but all the programs, I think 10 in all, that MasterCard supported with I think almost $20 million over the past 10 years, has done a lot to make the program, the various training programs, whether it's on market development or commercial microfinance or savings groups, available to thousands of students, mostly women and mostly women in Africa. But for all of you, I appreciate you filling out your MasterCard Foundation assessment form. Those go directly to the foundation, and they read them, and it'll be used in the overall assessment of this program. So we are actually at the very end of the SMDP. We'll be having the final program with Hugh in South Africa at the end of this month. And we'll be able to recognize the MasterCard Foundation, and I just want to let everybody know about that. But thank you, Stefano. You did a monumental job of being MIA, missing in action, to doing very, very well and completing your work. And I do want to recognize the great effort that Andrew put in helping you to make that possible. But you did it, and this will be a benefit to Heifer and the work that you're doing in the youth program and other programs that Heifer is doing in Tanzania. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other words from students that we'd like to
Yes,
hear?
please.
Hello, William.
Yes, I'd like to take an opportunity and thank you for the opportunity that you've given us. So as for me, the course was very useful. So I've learned a lot. And Andrew, you help us a lot, even if we have problems in the evening, in the night, you're always there to help us. So thank you very much. And I've already registered the IMS for our organization, and the results are amazing, but I'm still putting the data in, so it's amazing. Thank you very much.
Great, you're actually using the system. That's fantastic.
Yes, thank you very much. No, it's working nicely. It's just the glitches that we find a few weeks back, so that it doesn't save sometimes. Sometimes it's not working well, but it's working great. The results are fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we thank you very much, William, and we appreciate that you're already getting to put this to work in the field for African honeybee. And so hopefully it'll be help to keep everybody on track and be able to see your growth as you continue to work with an important part of the agricultural sector in South Africa.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Can I make a point, Bill? And everybody should be aware of this. If you run into any difficulties, if there's anything you don't quite understand about the system, or in particular, if you run across something that isn't working properly, you have to get in touch with us in order that we can fix it, okay? Because very often we only know if something's gone wrong because somebody starts to complain. So don't be shy. If something doesn't work, send me an email, get in touch with me on Skype, and I will then pass it on. I will first of all see if it's a problem I can resolve talking to you directly, but if I can't, I can then pass it on to the software people for fixing. And we try to respond within a day or two to most issues, okay? So don't be shy.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, William. And we received some well wishes from Kaite. Thank you, Kaite, for your words over there in the chat box. And I want to see if any other students have comments they'd like to make before we move on to the ceremony, the certificate ceremony. All right. Hearing none, then let's get to it. As I said, these certificates are certificates of achievement. They recognize the hard work that you put into this course over the past several weeks, and more importantly, that you're going to be leaving the course with knowledge and a very useful tool for your organizations in your very important savings group work. And so we're very happy. We've given out thousands of these certificates over the years, but in every case, we know that they're earned. They're not given just for people paying a fee or answering the call for a scholarship. They represent hard work for people over, in your case, several weeks. Sometimes it's over a week or two if they're in an intensive 2-week course, but we recognize that they are a piece of paper with a little fake gold seal, but they really represent a lot. To give you an example of kind of students' regard for these, I was contacted by a student a year or so ago who had been through a tragedy of having his entire house burned down, including all of his possessions. And he contacted me to see if we could replace his certificate because it meant a lot to him. And so we made sure that he could get a replacement certificate. So we understand these are important. And because of that, we also want to make it possible to you to get these to you, the actual certificates. I will send a scanned version to everybody, but if you'd like the actual physical certificate, you need to send me an address, a reliable postal address that we can mail it to, preferably in the United States or Canada, the UK, or Europe, but we can also get them to you in Africa if you feel your address that we can send them to is a regular postal address that gets international mail. So I'll send you an email along with the recording and a link to the Android MIS manual or PowerPoint. And if you send that to me the next week or two, respond to that with your address, I will get the certificate out to you. All right. Without further ado, as I said, we do have 8 of the 11 students in the course here, and we really appreciate people showing up for this. This will be the last thing that we're going to do today. We're going to wrap up after the certificate ceremony, just people who are paying attention to time. And the way this works is that I would ask you to either unmute your mic, or if you're not unmuting your mic, when instead of applause, since we may not hear you because you're muted, you can go like this for applause. So I'm going to call a person's name and show the certificate, and then everybody can either clap or applause. Got it? All right. So the first person I'd like to recognize with a certificate of achievement for SMDP Online is William Selo Mabuso. Let's hear it for William.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great. I wonder if you can see the certificate. Can you see it all right?
Yes, I can see. Yes. Thank you very much.
That's where I'll hold it for each one. Congratulations. All right. And my poor American pronunciation of your beautiful African names gets botched up, but I'll do my best. Next, we have from Mozambique, Helia Desi Mahata Lori Esendonka.
Great name.
The longest name of anybody in the course.
Great. That's great.
And from the Democratic Republic of Congo, struggling with the internet, but always there in one way or another, Jeanette Mutero. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Our farthest flung and the only one who actually paid for the course from her organization, normally from Manila, but speaking to us from beautiful Connecticut. Is that right? No, Connecticut. In the United States, Joy Kimmel. Congratulations, Joy. Are you any relation to that television comedian guy, Kimmel?
Jimmy.
No relation.
Just another American name. All right. We've had the pleasure of working with FSD Zambia on several occasions. Great organization doing tremendous financial inclusion work. And we're very happy that we were able to have Kayanike Moena.
Thank you.
The copper belt today.
Yes, I'm on the copper belt.
That's
So, Katie, do you know Chisha, the one who's running the MIS for FSDZ? Yeah, sorry, you're muted.
Your microphone, Katie.
Oh, yeah. I was saying I know her. I'm almost in touch with her most of the time. She's the one helping us with entering the data for the project we are running in Osaka.
It's showing very good results. So just thought I'd like to note that and congratulate
you. Yeah, sure. She's a very hardworking lady.
Okay, good.
Thank you. And now from Tanzania, from Heifer International, a phoenix who rose from the ashes of what I thought was a lost cause. He came in at the last moment and did the work and was able to earn this certificate of achievement. Stefano Joffrey.
Hongera Sana.
Hongera.
Not often do we have two individuals from the same organization within the program, but this time we were very lucky to have two people from an organization doing really incredible conservation work, helping to be part of the climate solution as our climate is and our fauna and flora are very, very challenged these days. So we want to recognize, first of all, Olavo Fernando Luis from the Fauna Foundation. And Mr. Emerson Neves, also from Megafauna Foundation from Mozambique. Congratulations. All right. We don't have with us today, but we'll go ahead and recognize Victor Mutinda, who works in Tanzania, and he is not able to join us today. He is with, I'm trying to remember the organization that Victor works with.
Fadhili Trust in Kenya.
Yes, Fadhili Trust in Kenya. Okay, right. Congratulations to Victor. Also working out in Eldoret in the rural areas. Lillian Wamboi Mwangi. She could not be with us today, but congratulations to, let's hear it for Lillian. Come on, some applause, people. Let's hear it. And finally, from Malawi, Wimwe A. Fabiano, who also could not join us today. Congratulations. Let's hear it for, nice to hear those flashing hands. Great, excellent. All right. All right, so we will get those handsome certificates to you if we can. If you'd like us to send them, please send us an address. Again, you have access to everything that's up on the platform for the next probably 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So if there's anything you needed to download, please go ahead and do it. On behalf of the University of New Hampshire, Carsey Public Policy, and the Center for Impact Finance, the Sustainable Microfinance and Development Program is very happy to award you these certificates and congratulate you for all your hard work. I also want to thank my colleagues, Andrew and Hugh, for tremendous job of supporting the course and making it possible for it to happen. And again, the MasterCard Foundation, making it possible for most of us to be able to be here and be able to have this course as a resource for the Savings Group movement. So stay in touch. As the SMDP is transitioning, we will be still keeping our website up. We are going to, in some way, participate in helping to organize the next Savings Group Conference, which will be in Durban, South Africa, in March of 2020. And we hope that some or all of you can make it to Durban to be part of that next Savings Group Conference. A lot of great ideas are shared, a lot of opportunities to share what you do and tell the world how important your savings group work is. So thank you all again. We appreciate your participation and your effort and wish everyone a great day. Any other final words? If not, we will end the broadcast.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.